G'day. How are we all? Well, it is a glorious sunny day here in Mayo in Ireland today. In fact, it is so warm that I am going to leave my conservatory very soon. It's the middle of the day and it's quite warm, so I'm going to do something constructive in the rest of the house this afternoon. But first of all, I thought I'd jump on and say hi. I'm drinking a concoction of pure orange juice, teaspoon of chili paste, teaspoon of garlic paste, a little bit of lemongrass, and I would put ginger in there too, but I didn't have any pureed ginger, so I'm having lemon and ginger tea shortly. But this is supposed to be a liver flush, if you'll excuse the vulgarity of considering my liver. About 15 years ago, yes, 15 years ago, I went to Thailand. I went to Koh Samui, and I did like a health fast there. It involved a bit of a colonic irrigation, shall we say, and nothing but psyllium husks with a bit of pineapple juice or watermelon juice in it, clear broth, and as a treat, you could have a liver flush in the morning if you wanted it. Most people didn't, but I did. It's orange juice, chili, ginger, and garlic. It's supposed to be very good for you and get you going. So since when I was in Australia, I did not eat clean, you might say. I overindulged. I didn't drink that much alcohol, but I did eat burgers and gorged on Tim Tams, which are a particularly delicious chocolate biscuit from Australia. So it was all delightful, but of course not very good for you long term. So I allowed myself my holiday overindulgence, and now I'm back to eating clean, and I'm having a lovely orange juice with chili and garlic and lemongrass, and I've been drinking lemon and ginger tea hand over fist, try and get rid of some of the inflammation in my body and get back to eating a bit healthier. I'm not trying to lose weight because I'm perfectly happy with the way I am. Well, that's not entirely true. I've become resigned to the fact that I have a condition called lipedema, and therefore thinking that I could just lose weight or exercise excessively and therefore be a different size or look like someone else is completely unrealistic. It's very hard to let go of that programming because so much of the Western society particularly is and the gym culture and the health and fitness industries, so much of it is based on the old calories in, calories out equations and the BMI crap. Now, the BMI, the bodily mass index, that was actually derived by a mathematician in the 19th century, so it bears absolutely no relevance to the difference in people's metabolisms, their genetics, their backgrounds, the changes of life, particularly with women. So the BMI is an absolute furphy, but it does help to sell gym subscriptions and to keep the podcast bros engaged in being misogynistic out there in the brosphere, in the manosphere. So I no longer wish that I was thinner for any other reason other than I suspect that I don't get as many roles in the Irish film industry that I'd like to break into. I am a middle-aged woman who is plus size. But apart from that, pretty much happy with myself. It's just about feeling better, really. When people say, oh God, I wish I was 20 again, they don't really mean they wish I was 20 again. They just mean that their body works the same way as it did when they were 20. Like I have, I took up jogging in my late 30s, and got quite fit in my 30s in my very late 30s, because I was training to be a cop. Well, I was training to get my fitness level up so I could be in the cops in WA. I got in, I passed everything except the beep test, my nemesis. But that was 16, 17 years ago. And now, even if I miraculously went and had all my lipedema removed by liposuction for lipedema or whatever, the moment has passed. The window of my youth has passed, and now my knees are buggered. So it's only low impact stuff and swimming for me from now on. I think that's just the reality of a lifespan when you're guaranteed, not guaranteed, but the good Lord said you can have 70 years and 10, about 70, right? Not a bad lifespan. Lucky if we get there, really. Well, I'm about 15 years out from that, and I no longer kid myself that if I starve myself and exercise, I'm suddenly going to be, Uma Thurman and Kill Bill. I'm not. That's just not the way I was built. But I'm happy with who I am. It doesn't mean to say that I want to eat crap. So no more chocolate biscuits for me. Since I've got back, I've had, I confess I do have the occasional chocolates, but when I go to the shops, I don't buy any. I just buy some fruit instead. Instead, when I get a real craving for like something sweet, I go and eat a tin of pineapple, which is at least natural sugar and a lot of fibre, and contains a lot of liquid, so it keeps you hydrated. Fruit is very good for you. So last night I went to Limerick, which is about 2 hours drive from where I am in Mayo. But a good drive. It's straight down the motorway. And I performed stand-up at Four Corners Comedy Club in Limerick. Last night's venue was Sexton's Bar and Pizza Gardens. They do an amazing pizza. They gave every comedian a complimentary pizza. I do thank them for it. I had a fabulous pizza. Well, I say I shared a pizza with my travelling companion, one of my best mates, and ex-husband. Comes with me often to my comedy gigs. I don't know if any of you have seen the documentary Super High Me, but about 15 years ago about 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I was in Tasmania, living in Tasmania, then husband, and I was on the radio station. And I'd recently discovered that medical cannabis was of great assistance to me. And we watched a documentary called Super High Me, which is a response to the documentary Super Size Me. Super Size Me was a documentary made by a filmmaker who decided he would experiment upon himself as a guinea pig with using his own body to eat nothing but McDonald's for like a month. And every time the McDonald's drive-through people said, do you want it supersized, meaning like the jumbo serve, he would have to say yes and accept it. Well, he nearly died. It was just he was so ill from all the revolting stuff in McDonald's, like the fat, the sugar, the preservatives. It didn't go well for him. But a comedian in the United States did a response to that called Super High Me, in which he decided to be stoned off chops for a month. Just, indulge in cannabis for a whole month and video the results. Well, it worked out terribly well for him. being a stand-up comedian, as long as people drove him to places, well, he didn't really have to. He didn't have to worry about functioning in the other capacity. So I said to my then husband at the time, I said, I've got to do a deal with you. We'll go to Ireland and we'll spend some time in Ireland with you. We'll go back to Ireland and spend some time. I said, I'll become like a stoner comedian. You can drive me around to all the gigs. Well, lo and behold, here I am in Ireland, and I'm a comedian, and I'm very happy about it. I am too. And occasionally he drives me to the gigs, and we hang out and have a great deal of crack. So he ate most of the pizza last night. So he drives me down there, and then I drive back. He has pints and pizza, and then we come home again. So it's a very nice pursuit to remain friends in my middle age and still have company. They say, I read a recent study that said, like, people enjoy time on their own, but no one really starts feeling lonely and the loss of human beings as company until they're older and they start spending at least 75% of their time alone, which is me. So I do battle with loneliness from now and then. But fortunately, being a comedian, I get out and about and see people and, the bright lights. Last night was the bright lights of Limerick. And it was a great crowd. There were many bums in seats, thankfully. Everyone was most attentive. It was a happy crowd, and all the comedians were really good. There was Mick Perrell, there was Donna Fletcher, there was Sean Fitzgerald, there was Alex Daly, and the very, very capable and funny MC is John Mulligan, who runs Four Corners Comedy Club in Limerick. And I'll be back there on September the 15th. So if you are in Ireland and anywhere near Limerick on September 15th, go and find Four Corners Comedy Club, and I will see you there. It's still shady in this. This is the last shady corner in my conservatory. See, this isn't technically my bedroom. What happened is I decided that I would bring a single bed out to the conservatory for the warmer months because it does me a great deal of good to see the sky and sleep out here when it's not too cold to do so. So it will only be a month or so, I guess, and I will be heading indoors and hibernating by my fire. But I intend to make the most of it until then. So you can probably hear my poor Great Danes panting. They are trying to find shade in the other end of the conservatory and miserably failing. I do wish they go and stand in the garden, but they don't want to. I've just hit all the garlic at the bottom because I talked, and it all settled while I was talking. I should be very interesting to kiss later. if anyone was around to kiss, that is. I should have to make sure that I dispose of my garlic breath with a liberal application of toothpaste, I suppose. Now on to my lemon and ginger herbal tea. Tea bag in. And I've almost given up sugar. So I have sugar in a frothy coffee now and then. My frothy coffee is really my one indulgence, but I don't have them very often anymore. A, they're very expensive, and B, like, there's so much milk, it's not very good for my tummy. But a honey in lemon and ginger tea, just a shot. And to today's lemon and ginger tea, I've added some truffles, which a friend gave me. Apparently they're very good for your health also. All right, well, that's it for now. Let me say big thank you to everyone who has signed up to be a subscriber on my channel. A special thank you to members of my channel like Junior Dawkins and others. Thank you everyone who likes my videos. Thank you everyone who shares my videos. Thank you everyone who comments on my videos, because the engagement really helps my algorithm, which means that, you know, I can derive a bit of income from YouTube, which means I get to spend more time on YouTube, you know. Money is just energy in motion. Thank you everyone who's found my Patreon. The link to it is on my about page of this channel in my bio. And I'm on Instagram, MAMADUCK9370. You can attempt to talk to me, but if you say anything silly like what's your WhatsApp number, then I shan't respond to you. But I do thank you all for being here, and I do thank you everyone who listens to what I say. I podcast here, I vlog here, I put up travel videos, I put up my comedy, and I just go live to have a chat now and then. And also, sometimes you can catch me reading Great Expectations. We're nearly, look, there's my bookmark. We've only got a few chapters to go, Great Expectations, and then I'm going to start reading something else. And I do thank you everyone who tunes in just to spend a bit of time with me as I read or as I opine. And thanks everyone who supports my comedy. All right, I'll see you when you got nothing on.